Alright, so the first thing you do is search up ROGym.org and then click into this. This is just the introduction thingy, and you pip install ROGym all. But first go into your Windows File Explorer and make a folder. I'm gonna title example bot. It doesn't really matter what you title it. And then you go to terminal and you want to navigate to that folder because we're gonna be installing some other stuff in terminal. Alright. So this is just, I'm on Windows, by the way. And then navigate to example bot. Right, and then you're gonna pip install ROGym all. Now I've already installed this, so it should look like something different for you, because I've already installed it as it said. Alright, and now you're gonna go to the ROGym website again, and then pip install git plus the ROGym PPL, which is the learning framework. And then you want to install it, and again, it's gonna, I already installed it, so it's gonna show up as something different for you. Now you want to get PyTorch, so click on that link in the ROGym thingy, and then click on stable Windows pip Python. If NVIDIA GPU, you can use a CUDA if you've installed CUDA already. If you just have CPU like me, just click on CPU, and you should be all set. And you should click on that, copy that, and paste that into terminal. So I have CPU, and I've already installed it, so it looks something like this. This is the ROGym PPL. This is the learning framework. I'll give you the link so you can look into this code later, but we don't really have enough time for this video. And here's Rocket Sim GitHub. This is the part that actually simulates the game. I already provided the link in the description. You can look at that later. Now, these are something called reward functions. So if you want your bot to do more of something, like going towards the bot, you make a reward for that. There's also imports at the top that import all the game state stuff. They're in ROGym, but you can look at those links later. For this project, it's best to have something like a code editor. I use Notepad++. You can use Visual Studio Code. And I use this, as you can see. I'll make a new text file, and then you want to copy all of this, and then copy it in there, and then go to File, and then Save As, and then you want to navigate to that folder and save it. I'm just going to save it as examplebot.py. Alright, and saving it all types is fine, it's perfectly fine. And then now it should be like colored if you're using Notepad++. This is your training script. This is game time on seconds. I'll explain in another video. We don't have any time for this video. Here are my reward functions, but we really need a touch reward, so we're just gonna copy all this and then paste this. And that's the touch reward. These are your reward weights, so how much they affect the bot. And then touch reward, we're just gonna put 50. Goal reward, just gonna put 500. Velocity bot, goal reward 10. Speed towards ball 5. And in air reward, let's do 0.15. That seems about good. Alright. Now for your ops, which is how the player perceives the game, don't put it as none, just put it as 3. Zero padding means how much players are allowed on a team. Now you also want to go down to learn settings and change the device equal CUDA if you have NVIDIA GPU, and if you only have CPU, just set it to CPU. Now we need to change your critic and policy layer sizes. Use a smaller one even if you have GPU, and CUDA, use CPU, so I'm gonna make it even smaller. Now you might think that the checkpoints auto-save and they auto-load from your other checkpoints, but they don't. So we gotta copy all of this in. I'll provide a sample script at the end of the video. Alright, and you want to disable Unix timestamp. Remember to disable that. And then go to Anaconda Coding because we could use Terminal, but I just prefer Anaconda Coding. It's much simpler. Same thing, I'm gonna navigate to Documents, and then you want to set your project name also to example bot. Alright, it doesn't matter what you title it. And you also want to import OS because we're using that to find our checkpoints. Now we want to import our rewards that we're using, because you need to import them or have them in your script, because then they won't even load and it will show up as multiple errors. Then you want to run python examplebot.py, alright, because that's the name of our training script. And then you should save it again to make sure it's saved. And you want to click enter, and then this is gonna be starting up all the processes that train in Rocket Sim. Should look something like this. Don't worry about the warnings, and there's 2 million parameters, which is a lot. So I don't recommend having this many, especially if you're on CPU, just like me. And then, as you can see, we've trained about 100,000 steps, which is very, very little for bot training. You also press Q to checkpoint it, just like I'm doing it right now. And then that will checkpoint it. And since we already have an auto checkpointer, we can just go to example bot. And then it should have a new folder called data, and then checkpoints, and the example bot, which is a bot name. And then that's your checkpoint folder. And people policy is your bot's brain. So congratulations, you just learned how to train a bot. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Make sure to subscribe and check the links in the description. Have a good day. Last video we talked about how to train your bot and put it in RL Gym to train, but we haven't talked about how to actually see your bot train. Since your bot is being simulated through Rocket Sim and not being played in actual Rocket League, we need to use a render to see how it's playing. What's up guys, in today's video we'll be showing how to put your AI bot into Rocket League. This is the second to last video in the series, so make sure to subscribe. So first you're going to search on Martico, RGM V2 to RBot V5, and then you click on the code and then just copy and paste it. And then you can open up terminal, navigate to your example bot folder, and then navigate to it as shown in previous videos, alright? And then you're going to get clone and then just copy what you just copied. And then it should be in your example bot folder, alright? Just gonna click into that. And then these are your bot stuff. Alright, this is your ops, and we're just using default ops. You can change it to whatever ops you're using, but now on my example videos, we're using default ops. And then you open up lookup table action or your act. We're using lookup table action, so if you're using a different one, you should change it to the one that you're using. Alright, and then we open this up. You should choose your newest data, you know. And people policy is the actual bot's brain. And they're just going to copy that into your bot folder, alright? And open your bot.py, and then your PPO policy is right over here, alright? And then you should set deterministic to true if you want your bot to play better, which is, I'll explain in another video. Don't have enough time to explain right now. Alright, and you're gonna pip install RBot in terminal. Alright, mine's already installed. And you're gonna search up RBot server v5 GitHub. Click into that. And click on core. And then you're just gonna click on releases. And scroll all the way down to 0.6.6. Alright. And then you're just gonna download that. And then you should move it to your bot folder. Alright. It's right over there. And then click on GUI. And then same thing, you're just gonna download this. We're gonna choose beta v8. Alright. Download this. Same thing, move it to your bot folder. Alright, now we can change the name of our bot to example.py, and it'll show this. It's fine, just click on more info and run anyway. Run the RBot server first, then click on the GUI. Same thing, just run it anyways, it's perfectly safe. Put it up. Alright, and then we're gonna add a file. Navigate to your Origin v2 and then click on circ and the bot. There we go, you have our example bot. So our bot is training 1v1, so we put each on one team. Alright, select the launcher. We're going to choose Epic Games or Steam for you. Start match. Alright. And then you got to make sure our bot server is launched. Otherwise, it won't start the match, alright? Sometimes it might do this for Epic Games. It really doesn't really matter too much. And they should say something like this. Alright, after waiting for a long time for this Rocket League to start up, it finally loads into the game. Now, it won't be as laggy as this because I'm recording while I'm opening Rocket League, so it's very laggy. And as you can see, these bots are not really good. They're playing Rocket League for the first time. You need billions of steps to get even a decent bot. So that's why these bots suck and so laggy. A lot of you are asking me to make a tutorial about how to render it like Ripple. And first of all, I'll not recommend this because you lose a lot of steps per second while rendering. And second of all, I don't really want to make a lot of tutorials. So if this video gets 10,000 views, I'll make a tutorial, right? So you guys better view this video a lot. What's up guys, in today's video we'll be showing you how to make a GCAI bot in Rocket League. Let's get the video started. Okay, so for tip number 1, you shouldn't leave your renderer on. Only leave it on when you're looking at it. And if you're not looking at it, you should turn it off because you lose a lot of steps per second. Now it's time for the actual reward weights. These reward weights are looking pretty good, but we also want a face ball reward. So we're just going to copy that into our code. And then you want to set this to about 0.8 to 1. It doesn't really matter. Whatever you choose. Alright. Then you want to go down to these learner settings. Set this to 50,000. Set this to 50,000. Just set this to 150,000. And then this is just how good your GPU is. If it's good, set to 100,000. Alright. Now you want to change these settings to 2E-4. And then you want to change it to CUDA if you have an NVIDIA GPU. If not, just set it to CPU. You should also change this value to 10 million, and you should change the time step limit to as much as you can. All of these rewards are meant for the bot to touch the ball and start ball chasing, because the bot needs to learn that before it can learn scoring and anything else. Once your bot has learned touching the ball consistently, which is probably around 100 million steps, you want to change these learning settings to these. Now at this point, you're going to introduce something called gate gamma. It's basically how far your bot looks into the future. Default just 0.99, which is 5 seconds into the future. You want to increase this as you keep on training because your bot needs to look further into the future. Now at this point, our old touch reward isn't really good anymore, so you want the bot to accelerate the ball, like hit it hard. So you're going to remove the old touch reward and just replace it with advanced touch reward. So you're going to set the touch reward weight to about 0.3, and then you can set the acceleration reward to like 1. and then just set the weight to 75. And then at this point, you're just going to increase goal reward to 1,000. And then you also want a velocity bar to goal reward for continuous encouragement to score. You're just going to set this to whatever you want. I'm just going to set 10. And increase gamma to 0.993, which is 7.5 seconds half-life. And then set the learning rates to 1.5 E minus 4. Now at this point, your bot's going to be scoring a lot. This is probably around 1 or 2 billion steps. And your bot's probably starting to learn outplays like flicks. So you want to tune up gamma to 0.995, which is 10 seconds half-life. And you also want to decrease the learning rates to like 1.2 E minus 4. It doesn't really matter what you set it. Just like anywhere between 1 E minus 4 to 1.2 E minus 4. And then you also want to increase goal reward and increase velocity bar to go. And then just kind of let this cook. Now, bots are terrified of the air. That's why we need an in-air reward. You can remove it around right now. But if you want your bot to aerial, you need like a jump touch reward, which basically scales the reward based on how high the bot was touched. Bots are terrified of the air. So you need to make this weight like really, really big because the bot won't even try to touch the ball. That's why it's pretty hard to get a bot to aerial. So if it doesn't happen first try, don't be mad. You also might want to include some state setters also, so you can check them out in ROGym tools. If you want to make rewards, you should import the game state object from ROGym, and the game state object includes the car object and the physics object, which basically has everything there is about the game. So if you want like a reward for having more boost, you can use a car boost amount module to make a reward for that. There are also plenty more state setters and tools and other rewards at ROGym, so all you have to do is just pip install ROGym tools, and you can use all those rewards from ROGym, or you can just copy and paste it into your code. The most important part about making an AI bot is to have patience, to let the bot train, and if something's wrong, you change the reward. And then over time, as you get more and more experience, you eventually make a GC bot. So anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe because I do take my free time on making these videos, and I would like to get monetized or something because I really do spend time and effort on these videos. So please subscribe. Yeah, that's all I have to say.